Yeah, Shalom. It's your brother Ratazar Allah from GMS London Camp. Just going to put a quick video together. Uh, try and make it as quick as possible in regards to New Year's madness, New Year's festivities that everyone's going to be celebrating later on tonight. As you know, today is December the 31st, going into January the 1st. First and foremost, I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of GMS that are ruling well, and salutations and blessings unto the elect. Just going to read some articles and some scriptures to back it up in regards to these pagan and demonic festivities or rituals that these people are going to be partaking in, man. Propagated by none other than Esau, the so-called white man, the damn devil in the Bible. Just to start off, when I was doing the research, I came across a number of deities and idols and all that were worshipped in so-called New Year's. But I'm going to concentrate on the main, the common ones that are known. Funny enough, the elders been speaking about this deity quite a lot. I'll bring the scripture out on that. There's Marduk, or in the scriptures known as Merodach. So I'm going to read a little bit of this and then jump to some other articles and information. It says Merodach was a Babylonian name of a late generation god from ancient Mesopotamia, a patron deity in the city of Babylon, who, when Babylon became a political center of the Euphrates Valley in the time of the Hammurabi, the 18th century BCE, started to slowly rise to the position of the head of the Babylonian pantheon. So the word pantheon means all gods. As I said earlier, they had a range of different deities that they worship. A position he fully acquired by the second half of the second millennium BCE. In the city of Babylon, he resided in the temple of Sagila. According to the Encyclopedia of Religion, the name Marduk was probably pronounced Marduk, which is BS, is Merodach. The etymology of the name Marduk is conjectured as derived from Amar Utu, the bull calf, and the sun god Utu, though he shows no especially solar features. The origin of the Marduk's name is to reflect an earlier genealogy of or have had cultural ties to the ancient city of Sippar, who is the god of Utu, the sun god, dating back to the third millennium BCE. So anyway, in a nutshell, man, you got this guy Merodach, and they used to celebrate a 11-day festival in commemorations to this guy, to bring in the new year, because he was supposed to be the god of the new year and all that, the rebirth and all this madness. And I'm gonna go further into that. And I was gonna read a bit of this here and jump around, but here's a picture of Merodach. Got another picture here. This is another one of the festivals that was commemorated in the name of Merodach. Back then it was called the Akutu Festival, and basically it was a two-part of the year festival that was celebrated in the autumn and the spring, showing you that in fact that the spring is the new year, brings in the new year, not January the 1st, because January is known as the month of death, because nothing grows, everything withers away, temperatures dropping, it's just cold as fuck. So the new year doesn't start in no damn January, man. That was just some made up BS that started Julius Caesar, and later on in the history, in the dark ages, like late 6th, 7th century AD, by Pope Gregory. He was a Jake. So it was just madness, man. But just to back up the fact that the Babylonians, they followed them the lunar calendar, man, or so they say, because there wasn't no such thing as Monday to Sunday back then. Weren't no January and February and March either, so most probably did follow the lunar cycle, which I'll read a bit of it here. Wikipedia, the Babylonian calendar. Babylonian calendar was a lunisolar calendar with years consisting of 12 lunar months, each beginning with a new crescent moon. Was first sighted low on the western horizon at sunset, plus an intercalary month inserted as needed by decree. The calendar is based on the Sumerian the third predecessor preserved in the Uma's calendar of Shulgai, the 21st century BC. So even the Babylonians to a certain extent, which are the Kushites, they're the original Kushites, followed the Hebrew calendar, the lunar cycles, which even if you look down here, it says their year starts in March, April, which is around springtime. For further proof that even the Lord wasn't born on no damn December the 25th, the dead of winter, because he was born on the Passover, which is in the springtime, which is around March, April times. But they even got a date here. Tammuz, you know anything about Tammuz, the son of Nimrod, ancestral son of Nimrod, man, through Semiramis, and they say that the month of his birth, or the month of his celebration, is around June, July, according to the Gregorian calendar. Which, if you know anything about June, July, that's summertime. So the Babylonians are a bunch of sun worshippers, so it wouldn't be too far fetched. That's when most marriages are accumulated and all that, and set up. Not accumulated, but ceremonies are set up, and people get married in mainly like mid to late June, July times. There's even a film that I watched the other day, King Arthur. I don't know how true it is, but after a battle, just before, as he became king, his name was King Arthur Costas, if I'm saying it right, and he married this woman Guinevere, and when I watched the film, they showed a scene where he was at Stonehenge. They was getting married at Stonehenge, and it was like basically in the summertime. And then after the ceremony, they was all pointing their hands up into the sky. It was basically like the last scene in the movie. So it just shows that even in the Middle Ages and all that, it was a bunch of sun worshipping niggas. King Arthur and all that. And even before and after him, man, from the time of Constantine and all that. So but yeah, it's all about, for these people, it's all about worshipping the elements, man. So-called white man's the devil, man. He just pushes our people to follow him, man. We're easily seduced by this devil. And I'll put out the scripture for that too. But the Kitu festival is in commemoration to Merodach, and I'm gonna read about it here a little bit. So like it says there, Kitu or Kitan Sumerian, it means the sowing of barley, or or also the in the Babylonian Sumerian, it meant cutting of barley, but sowing of barley, whatever. But in Babylonian, Kitu meant head of the year, which was a spring festival in ancient Mesopotamia. So that goes in line with the whole fact that they was worshipping this guy Merodach in commemorations to the beginning of the year, the New Year's Day, all this madness. The name is from the Sumerian, from barley, originally marking two festivals celebrating the beginning of each of the 2 half years of the Sumerian calendar, marking the sowing of barley in the autumn and the cutting of barley in the spring. In Babylonian region, it came to be dedicated to Marduk's victory over Tiamat. It has been proposed that Thanksgiving may be able to trace its earliest recorded origins to the ancient Mesopotamia harvest festival. Which that if that's true, that would be I wouldn't be surprised, man, because all these damn festivals and festivities and all bunch of rituals anyway, they go back to somebody, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if it went back to damn Babylon, Thanksgiving or Thanksstealing, as they certain brothers call it. But sorry, there was something else I wanted to get out of this. Yeah, I'll read this bit here. In comparative mythology, Marduk is in the myth enacted. The festival is preserved in the so-called Marduk ordeal text. In this myth, Marduk appears as a life, death, rebirth deity. So the new year is supposed to be about new life and all that, rebirth. About the white man, he loves that word rebirth, man. When he came in the Renaissance period, the whole Renaissance meant rebirth. So in the French. So yeah, it's not far-fetched. Reflecting the festival's agrarian origin based on the cycle of sowing and harvesting, which is 11-day festival, as I read before. Or here it's got 12 days. The last day of the 12th day, it says the last day of Akitu, the gods return to Marduk's temple. The statues are returned to the temple. The daily life resumes in Babylon, Nineveh, and the rest of the Syrian cities. So it's just a long ass ritual event, man, over some vegetation and all that. But basically it's the worship of Satan, man. That's what it really goes back to. So the Most High never told us to be worshipping no sun and no damn vegetation, man. No. But yeah, this is another article going in more depth into the deities and how they're all interlinked, man. I found that it's a good link with the gateways of Babylon.com. There's Akitu, the Babylonian New Year's festival. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, I'll read this second paragraph here. The New Year's festival could be held in the autumn as well as in the spring. We translate Sumerian Sagmuk, which means beginning of the year, and the Akkadian Akitu, which is the uncertain meaning, but basically means New Year's festival, because of these feasts are essentially what the modern term indicates: festive celebrations of a new beginning in an annual cycle. However, in the Near East, nature offers two starting points within the solar year, one at the end of the winter and the other at the end of the other at the end of the even more deadly summer. In Mesopotamia, the rains were important. In Babylon, the Akitu festival was celebrated in the spring, and the first new moon after the spring equinox, which is basically the new year. The new moon in the spring is basically the first month of the year. In the month of Nisan, whereas in Uruk, the festival took place in the fall as well as in the spring. In the months of Tishri, the poem above of Nisan. Some more madness, more myths and legends, man. Okay, the inner logic of the celebrations comes from ancient myths. See, it's all a myth, man. It's not true. It's not been proven. It's just all bunch of all these idols, BS, man. The wood and stone, man. I'm gonna get the scriptures in that too, man. The myth of creation, or the Enuma Elish, which, if you know the Enuma Elish, when we getting on these damn Pan-African Egyptologist niggas, sarcophagus, poltergeist, aka poor light, and Saren suit and shitty, you know, Saren suit and not ready, getting on these niggas talking about the Enuma Elish, which in this article it says it's a myth of creation, man. How about that, man? That shit can't be proven, it's not real, it's BS, man. And the elders have been exposing you damn idiots for the hypocrites and idiots you are, man. And you know, people are as the elders are saying, people are starting to lead towards the Hebrew Israelite side and inquire about what are our dealings and about this truth, because there's just one truth, man. Ain't no 2 or 3 truths and all this madness, half truths. It's just one truth, man, and we got it, man. GMS, not even boasting, man. Elders of GMS got it, man. On down. It's for the elect anyway, man. And it's obvious that you niggas, Saracen Bay, all you Pan-African niggas, sarcophagus, all that, bro, no, like, you ain't part of the elect, man. You just a bunch of scoffers, man. You just playing your part, you know. So I'm gonna carry on the descent of Inanna Ishtar and the courtship of Inanna and Dumuzi in the highlights of the festival celebrations and the sacred marriage rite. The descent of the Inanna or Ishtar is hardly mentioned in the most scholars, mentioned by most scholars, but it is there in full symbolism. In the king's descent, the high priestess in the city wailing for the vanished captive king, blah blah blah, all this madness, man. It's just madness, man. It's all false pretenses, it's all lies, man. People just follow this shit blindly, man. People are led astray by these damn false prophets, these idiots. They're really just out here for the money, man. All you Enuma Elish niggas, Epics of Gilgamesh, you're all really out here for the money, man. You know, because if you really want to get the real story and life's creation and all that, all you have to do is open up the King James Bible, man. It's there, plain in black and white for you, man. But only for who can receive it, man. You know, you might be able to read it, but you might have to get the understanding from the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and that's only given to a certain few, the elect. So you're gonna have to come to the Israelites to get that breakdown, man. If you can receive it, you know. It's not hard to understand, but you know, people are just hard-headed out here, man. Or especially our people who want to follow these Pan-African Egyptologists, New Covenant unconsciousness niggas, man. You know, black unconsciousness, as the elders say. You know. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna move on. Yeah. So if brothers wanna read this article, get some more info out of it, you're welcome to. The links up there. There's a lot of disinformation there anyway, but on the whole, this exposes how they did what these devils are worshipping and all that madness, man. Babylonian customs. So I'm gonna move on anyway. Yeah, just some pictures of the festival, the Akitu festival and all that. People congregating doing their madness. But you know, we ain't supposed to be partaking in that. And that's what New Year's Eve is all about. New Year's Day, everyone getting together, just, you know, wailing like a damn banshee, screaming at the top of their voice. You know, like to say something good's gonna come out of it, man. Really, ain't nothing but New Year's death and destruction coming, man. Lord willing, for the elect. That's what we're hoping for. More death and destruction to come, man. You know, because we don't want no parts of this society, man. We want to get the hell up out of here ASAP, man. As soon as. Lord willing, that happens soon, you know. You know, these people be putting in their New Year's resolutions and not knowing that they're just worshipping some damn wooden stone and deities and all that shit, man. But anyway, gonna go into some further information. The pictures is messing up Salakia. Further push into the future, around the Greco-Roman Empire, you had how these devils reinvented these gods, man, that they stole from the ancient Africans and shit, Kushites and all that. You know, Amun-Ra, the sun gods and all these things in Egypt. You had these, you had their god that they called Janus, man, which is where you get the month of January from. So like, Satan's just messing about my net, you know. But yeah, you had Janus, which is where you get the month of January from, and that's how this devil propagated that January the 1st, and that was the so-called New Year, the so-called day of the New Year, January the 1st, and that's just madness, man. It's the dead of winter, it's cold as fuck, as I said earlier. So you see how these devils stole the Babylonians' ideas and all that, and reinvented it. In ancient Roman religion, the myth, Janus is the god of the beginnings and transitions. Thence also of gates, doors, passages, endings in time. He is usually depicted as having two faces, since he looks to the future and to the past. The Romans named the month of January Januarius, there's no J's in the Latin, in his honor. Janus presided over the beginning and the ending of conflict, and hence war and peace. The doors of his temple was opened at a time of war and closed in mark of peace. As a god of transitions, he had functions pertaining to birth, rebirth, and to the journeys and exchange, and in the association of Paternus, a similar harbour or gateway of God. He was concerned with travelling, trading, and shipping. Man. This is madness, man. It's just a bunch of crazy myths put together and made up. People follow, man. You know. It sounds like just like the Catholic Church anyway, because they're all about, prosperity and shit. All these different deities that they worship, man. Everything's about prosperity and all that, man. It's just madness, man. You see how far these damn deities gonna get them in the time of trouble, as the scriptures say. I'll put that scripture up there as well. It's lucky. I'm just trying to get the mouse to move. Saying it's trying to hinder the work right now. Basically, what I wanted to show you is there's a picture where Nero commemorated a war and victory in I think it was 66 AD, like 2 years before the time of the burning of the temple, man. And who did he blame? He blamed the Israelites for it, man. They started a revolt and all that, and he massacred and killed a lot of Jakes, man. After the revolts, they were a slug, he massacred and killed a lot of Jakes, and in commemoration of that, he had a coin, if I can get to it, in commemorations to Janus, man. Just saying, man, it's fucking on my shit. Slug, brothers. Yeah, this is the coin I was talking about. The Temple of Janus, with closed doors in the inscription on a Centurius, issued under Nero in 66 AD from the mint of the Lugdunum, however you pronounce it. So yeah, man, you even had this guy Nero commemorating Janus back then, man. This is the time that he was ruling the real Jews, man, real Israelites, the southern tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, in the Roman Empire, man. When he burnt down the temple or whatever, and then he blamed it on the Israelites and all that. This is like 2 years after that, man. So, these devils all about bringing in war, order ab chaos, man, bringing in that war and then so-called peace, and then they used commemorated it to Janus, man, the god of January, whatever, man. So yeah, there's another article if brothers want to look that up and read it. Just got some images of Janus here. Two-headed monster, God of beginnings, as it says here. That's madness. You know, it's all myths and legends. It's like the Clash of the Titans and all that. It's all myths, man. These people blindly follow that shit, man. These devils even named every day, every social day or whatever. They even name these damn days after these gods, man. It really goes back to Satan anyway, man. As I've been saying. So, yeah, that's Akitu and Janus and Marduk. But I'm gonna go into Kronos, which is another deity. Just the last deity I wanna examine for you brothers, and more than welcome to search for yourself, find out any more information on this. You know, Kronos was another deity that the Romans worshipped, and he came about really actually between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, basically at the strike of 12, man, just by the strike of 12, when the ball drops or whatever, and the times change and all the zones and all this madness, and everyone's screaming and celebrating. He was the deity that they would sacrifice their children to, man. You know, just like Baal and Molech and all that back then. Back in the ancient world, you know, you had the Israelites who sacrificed their children to Baal or Molech. Well, this is the reinvention of those gods, man. I'm gonna read into it. Yes, that's like, yeah. In his book, The Two Babylons, Bishop Hislop explains that the Romans looked on Kronos as the subterranean and an infernal god. His name spoke of the deceit and subterfuge with which he conquers. The pagan rituals repudiate the worship of the Lord, who you're going to recall Jesus Christ, and his atoning sacrifices, sustaining instead various pagan forms of bloodletting to appease their faulty concept of God and what he requires, rather than accept the forgiveness of sins through the Messiah, the King of the universe, Yahushua, who you can recall Jesus Christ as the sin bearer. In his rejection of the Bible salvation and establishing his own system of salvation through pagan means of blood sacrifice and justification by works, we see nations approach God by puncturing themselves with skewers, walking live coals of fire, waging bloody wars in the name of religion, etc., etc. You know, and it goes into all the madness that these damn pagan devils, Greco-Roman devils, was worshipping back then, and they're worshipping now, man. How they worship this damn devil and sacrifice their children to him on New Year's Eve. So you people began all into the town centres and all that madness, screaming at as soon as the clock hits 12 o'clock and all that midnight. I like to say it's a birth of a new day, and it's a good thing. When these damn devils were sacrificing a whole bunch of people and kids, man, slaughtering, man, basically massacring people in the name of Kronos, the damn Roman deity, which really Kronos was Marduk and Baal and all these other deities that they worship today, man. Just a different name, a different twist. I want to read that as we go along. It's a good article as well, man. TheAngelFire.com. Brothers, welcome to look it up. Constantine, we know in 325 AD, Constantine worshipped the Mithratic sun god Kronos, not Yahushua, not who you call Jesus Christ. Right. And also December the 25th, I think that was supposed to be the birthday of Mithra. It's another deity that they worship, man. You know, and they call that day December the 25th in Rome. They call that day the Eid Natalius Invictus Solis, which means the birthday, or the birth of the unconquered sun, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a bunch of sun worshipping demons, man, devils, man. You ain't supposed to be partaking in none of this, man. You people just thinking it's a normal day, just going about your business, thinking that you can just party and bullshit. Really, you just worshipping Satan, man. This is why the Most High is gonna judge on them. He's gonna judge Jake 2/3. He's gonna judge the heathens, man. Because the Most High said specifically in the first commandment, man, thou shalt have no other power or gods before me, man. He's a jealous power, man. People are ignorant and stupid, man. And when the destruction comes, then the first person they're gonna try and call on is the Lord. You're gonna call Jesus Christ or the Most High, screaming God, which really isn't his name, it's Yahweh. His son's name's Yahweh Shai. So he ain't gonna get saved anyway, man. And so I wanna keep on reading. Unable to conquer the church by pure Mithraism, he brought 318 bishops to all the expenses of the paid council, which he made full use of the compromised mixture of Christianity and paganism. And that's what today's so-called Christianity is. It's just Roman indoctrinated paganism, man. That spread sun worship into Britain, throughout Europe and Africa, and into Africa, and ultimately laid foundations of the worldwide belief in Islam. The sun worshipping symbols are found throughout these nations. It is important to keep in mind the principle from scripture found in Isaiah 24:21. As it says, and it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. That whole chapter goes into that nuclear destruction, man, when you read it. So Most High is definitely going to get Esau, the so-called white man, who's the devil in the Bible. He's ruling at the moment, so he's definitely going to get taken out that power seat, man. And all these followers are going to die with him. You two fair niggas that want to, cry and wail over these damn festivities, and they want to partake in these wickedness. You're going to die with him, man. Simple as. It is believed that Kronos it is believed that Kronos is synonymous with Nimrod, right? As I said, he's just a remake, reinvented, reinvigorated idol with a different name, the same deity. So Kronos is synonymous with Nimrod, who though long received his authority through the principality demon, from a principality demon. Perhaps you will recall that Nimrod was to his extraordinary position by bringing the people in Babylonia to subjection unto him. In the Old Testament, he began states that he began to be a mighty on the earth in the kingdom, and with his kingdom beginning in Babylon, Genesis 10:8. The name Kronos signifies the horned one. He was worshipped in the east under the names Bel and Baal. Ring any bells? Eusebius writes that the first Assyrian king was named Belus. In September 2000, God gave a prophetic message entitled The Consolation of Emmanuel to the word. That's just some babble and madness anyway. But Kronos is the Greek term for time. That the name of the deity Kronos means to subdue. And so basically, Kronos is a reincarnation of Nimrod. And I think I want to get some other ones as well, just some other names as well here, if I can get them. Yeah, and all these other damn deities that these other nations worship, it was just all piled into one. And you know how this white man does, man. He likes making everything universal and as one and shit. So he just piled all these deities as one and put a name on it, man. But yeah, I'm gonna read these two last lines here, and I think I'll get into the scriptures and then close out. Cronus is depicted as a Mithritic, the sun worshipper of Constantine and his army statues, lion-headed with winged human figures, is often shown standing on the globe marked with a cross, signifying the change of the time and season which was brought. This was the spirit of Shemosh to the Moabites. You know anything about the scriptures, you read about these different deities that the other nations worship, sons of men. He was the Ammonite god Molech. He was also known as Baal to the Canaanites, Dagon to the Philistines. The name differed, but the rituals were the same. That's the main point, man. The name was deferred. It will change the names, it's reinvented it, but the rituals were the same, man. That child sacrifice and all that madness, man. It all goes back to Satan at the end of the day. All these different deities that everyone's worshipping and shit, man. It all goes back to one source, man. Satan, man. Esau did a damn child of Satan, you know what I'm saying? They're the living part of Satan, man, on earth, man. He's a spiritual part, spiritual demon Satan, and you got the living counterparts, just his children, the so-called white man, pushing all these pantheon and paganistic gods that everyone's worshipping, and our people stupid going follow that shit, you know, throughout the dark ages and that, you know. Ways of the wicked seduced them, you know. Anyway, that's just a few examples of all these different deities that everyone's going to be worshipping come New Year's Eve, going into New Year's Day tonight, later on tonight, you know, when the clock strikes 12 and all this madness. But anyway, I'm just going to read these scriptures, a couple of scriptures, and close out. So Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies, man. So-called serious assemblies, the Most High ain't dealing with none of that, man. You're gonna seriously get yourselves killed out here, man. All you people that want to be celebrating New Year's, Christmas, Easter, and all these other damn ritualistic pagan holidays, man, you're gonna get killed out here, man. You don't even realize whether you're doing it directly or indirectly, man. You know, still gonna get the same judgment, man. Unless you turn from your wicked ways and repent. If you're an Israelite, 12 tribes, and the other nations, they can go to hell, man. They can do what the hell they want to do, because they're gonna go into slavery anyway, man. It's all said and done. Lord willing, that happen in the new year, you know. Death and destruction, more hell coming for the nations in 2/3, and the Lord's come back with his chariots and deliver his elect, Lord willing, you know. But yeah, I'll read the second scripture. It's Exodus 20:23-2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a case to decline after many, to wrest judgment. So you ain't supposed to be following any Jakes out here, man, that want to feel bad because you don't want to, because you're not partaking in Esau's wicked ass festivities. You're a clown, man. You're a friend of the world. You're enemy to the Most High, man. And if you're not part of the elect, Lord willing, part of the elect, you ain't gonna care about all these festivities, man. A man like worth entangling himself not in the affairs of this life, man. And the Lord told us specifically not to love the world, man, neither the things that are in it, you know. It's all vanity, it's all lies, it's death and destruction. As the scripture says, the ways of man is death, man. That's in the book of Proverbs, I think. I'm gonna jump into the next scripture. Deuteronomy 4:19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power hath divided to all the nations under the whole heaven. So we ain't supposed to be part of all these different deities that they got at Kitu festivals and Marduk and Janus and Kronos, a whole bunch of different deities probably out there, man. You ain't supposed to be partaking in it, man. It's just a bunch of madness, man. Even Pope Gregory, with his wicked self, he even wrote a letter to St. Augustine. I'll put up the quote if I find it, saying that all these non-Christian activities, man, it's just devil worship, man. And that's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of devil worship, man. And we don't have no parts in it, man. if you're an Israelite, man, coming into the fold and all that. Especially me, me myself, I'm a young brother. And I'm really doing this video for like younger brothers like myself, and my new brothers that are coming into the fold. Really for the elect anyway. But, you know, just to like, you know, edify and all that, as we're supposed to do. You know? But yeah, we're not to partake in none of this madness, man. It's all vanity and lies, man. It's all temporary. You know, scriptures say the fashion of this world passeth away. So all the deity is gonna pass away with it, man, including them Pan-African niggas and that fucking woman is a god worship shit, man. That all that feminism and all that, man. That's all gonna be passed away, man. Nuclear fire, man, coming to a town near you very soon, Lord willing. I'm gonna read these last two scriptures and close out. Psalms 96:5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens, man. And that's right, man. The Lord made the heavens, you know. It says in many scriptures how the Lord created everything, man. In Genesis and the book of Psalms, Ezra and all these things. But, you know, people still can't see it, man. They just want to worship the elements, man, instead of the creator who created them. That's just madness, man. You know, you want to believe in Satan, but if you believe in Satan, then you got to believe there's a power on the right hand side, man. You want to believe in the left. You can't have good without, you know, evil, man. You can't have evil without good. So like, you can't have hot without cold, you know, all of that, man. So you people out here, you're just in la la land, man. You're gonna get destroyed, man, for your fucking hypocrisy and your ignorances, man. You die in the ignorance, like them wicked scribes and Pharisees 2,000 years ago, man. You know, this is the last scripture, Psalms 135:15 to verse 18. The idols of the heathen are silver and gold, the work of man's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Neither is there any breath in their mouth. They that make them are like unto them. So basically, you're just dumb, deaf, and blind. So is everyone that trusteth in them, man. You're basically dumb, deaf, and blind, man. And that's 2/3 of our own people. The Most High blind you, like it tells you in Jeremiah 5:20, Isaiah 6:9, and all them other beautiful scriptures, man. Corinthians, all of that, man. You know, for your stupidity, man. Romans 11 and all that. You know, well, basically the Most High just didn't choose you, man. The Most High is picky, you know. He's picky, man. You know, he chose his elect, and that's it, man. You know, so that's it, man. We ain't supposed to be partaking none of this madness. For any of the new brothers coming in, or you know, just brothers in general, you know, going about your daily business, man. Don't be tempted or be disheartened if you don't partake in this madness, these festivities, man. These people are gonna meet their judgment with no martial law. All hell breaks loose. They're gonna be part of that fire, man. They ain't gonna be saved. They ain't gonna have no hedge over them, because they, for one, they didn't believe. They don't know the name of the Most High, and two, they ain't got no faith, you know. And they're just a bunch of idiots, man. Ignorant fucking fools, man. As the scripture says, our people are fools, man. You know, 2/3 anyway, and the other nations, they're just going into slavery. That's all they need to know, man. You know. But yeah, man. So with that, I want to close out. So I hope brothers was edified and that. Sorry for the if it was elongated and all that. You know, just trying to push this word out and all that. But I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders, GMS, Great Millstone. And praises and salutations to the brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth, to the elect. Until next time, Shalom.